Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, my name is Jason Dames with Radiance Videography, and I've got my co-host, Emil Peter, my boy, the man, the myth, the legend.
In my own mind. All the way around.
And this is episode 3 of our podcast series. We're just going to...
Did you say episode 3?
Episode 3.
Episode 3?
I was like 3 like this.
Oh, you were like,
Make fun of me. So
no, I'm not make fun of you.
It's okay.
It's not what I said. My words have been twisted.
It's pretty easy.
No, it's
okay.
difficult.
Sorry if I misunderstood.
No, it's fine.
Anyways, y'all, we're going to be talking today about tips and tricks that can help your video content be more professional and more engaging. So we're going to be talking all about three in particular tips that will really help make your video stand out if you are, doing a lot of your video content yourself. We can also talk about how Radiance can help you guys take over that slot if you don't want to do video yourself. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. There's 3 huge things that I think will really help your videos become way more professional. And
Is your mic on this time?
Is my mic on?
Is the mic on? Okay.
That's a good segue because the first one is having better audio quality. Like, Emil, you probably recognize this when you're watching videos, but people are a lot more forgiving with bad footage. But when it comes to bad audio, like
it's just frustrating.
It's hard to listen to, right? Like
you can't hear what the person talking is saying, and you've got background noise. Or it
sounds like you're in a trash can or whatever. It's just like, it's just kind of cringy or whatever, and you just click off. So you'll lose people like right away if you don't have bad audio.
Get the message out.
Yeah.
Good audio.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways, simple ways to create a lot better audio, even if you're doing it on your phone. I did a live stream the other day, go on Facebook. It was just a little short one. But I've got a small little lavalier mic that can plug into your phone.
Right into the slot at the bottom.
Makes it super simple. And there's a few different brands that I highly recommend. I just purchased the Ceramonic lavalier mic. It's basically got a transmitter that hooks into your phone, and then receiver that hooks into your phone, and then 2 transmitters, which are the microphones.
Right.
And you can kind of like clip it on your shirt or whatever, or hold
Make it real easy. That's why you see people when they've got their earbud, back when the headphones plugged into the phone in the dark ages, I guess. Good Lord. But they would hold their mic up like this with the wires pinched, and it's so that you had better audio and it sounded better than on the desk with the phone in your hand using the microphone there. That's just not the best way to go.
So you see that a lot on YouTube videos, whatever, people holding it in their hand or whatever, or you can buy actual like nice lavalier mics that you can kind of tuck into your shirt if you don't want it to be seen, but they're relatively cheap, $200 to $300. But it's completely worth it in terms of if you're trying to make content regular, like we've been talking about on the last episode.
Yep.
You want to step up your game. This is like the first thing.
This is one of the best ways to do it. This is the first real big
best
good
bang
step.
for your buck. Yeah.
It's serious.
So there's 3 big brands.
Mile out of an inch in this one.
DJI makes a lot of different stuff, but in particular drones, they're known well for it. But a lot of video stuff, but in particular, they've got this nice little lavalier mic that a lot of YouTubers use, DJI. And then you got Rode. Rode is just
classic industry name.
Classic industry name when it comes to audio. They've got some really good ones. And then, like I said, the Ceremonic, but there's a few other ones you can kind of look around.
And but the technology today, before we go too much further, we are sponsored by nobody. These are just brands we're mentioning.
Yes.
If anybody's upset that we've mentioned them, I'm sorry. We did not know that we were contractually obligated to have said something to you, but you didn't pay us. So
yep, exactly.
Sorry we gave you free advertising. Anyway, the technology of today, like even the cheap, like I'm not trying to talk about webcam or podcasting stuff here, but I like a $30 webcam that plugs into my USB off Amazon, no name, like some generic that like super sharp 4K picture. Like it's the best webcam I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is amazing.
And so you can go with these top name brands, and we'll put links to products below, but it's just incredible the amount of difference it makes with one small,
it really is,
like $50 lavalier mic that you can buy off Amazon, or you can buy a $200 or $300 one, or you can go super expensive and buy the $1,500, $2,000 ones. Like,
I mean, think about it from, if you were to buy a nice lavalier mic 5-10 years ago, like you'd probably spend anywhere from $800 to $1,000.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Lavalier mic when you can buy one for really cheap, and it's just one of the big bullets that you can pull, big triggers that is going to automatically change the game and your production value, right?
Game.
Yeah. So that I would say definitely start off with that. It's do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, and it's just not just lavalier mics. It's podcast mics like we have attached to the desks.
Yeah.
Stand mics, but improving your audio just overall. If you want people to hear you, it's important to have your words captured clearly.
Yes.
So that they can be then reproduced.
Yeah. So staying on the topic of audio, there's a couple other things that are like super important that a lot of people don't really realize.
Yeah, beyond the equipment.
Yeah, beyond the equipment that will help your equipment like sound better, and that is like removing any like background noise, whether it's like a furnace or some sort of buzz going on in the background.
It's weird. We like to record ourselves like right next to a fan. I like to have a big metal fan that's missing a ball bearing. Like I like to have it right next to me.
It seems so obvious, but a lot of times it's, you're in a kitchen and there's a refrigerator humming or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the second point that can make your audio better is, have you ever like listened to somebody that was in a room where there's lots of there's hardwood floor, there's all kinds of walls, and the sound's basically bouncing all over the place.
Just standing in a large empty room.
And it sounds very like echoey and like tinny sounding.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something I see probably the most often in a lot of videos, is that basically you need got like a floor, like a carpet here that kind of like absorbs some of the sound from below.
Yeah, it just deadens it.
Deadens the sound. Put some pieces up on the wall that is, kind of deadens it as well. Like these are ways that, maybe it's just you can bring in some blankets to lay on the floor. Like that will really, really help the sound quality. But if you can find a place where there's, maybe carpet or a lot of things, couches and things that will absorb that sound, it's going to drastically impact your overall sound quality.
100%. If you can rent a soundproof room, that's so much better.
Yeah, but you got some money, spend some money on some of those sound board absorbers.
I'm ready for us to build that studio. It's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. Looking forward to that.
It really is. And so
down the line.
Yeah, I love it. Second thing would be lighting. Lighting. So I'd say the two biggest things is audio and lighting. Audio is just something you can't get away with, but the lighting is going to then really impact your image. quality of your video. And maybe you don't have expensive lights. Most people that you see have a professional light system on video. They have what's called a 3-point lighting system. So they have a key light, which is something that I have coming on me, and it's also acting as a backlight on your shoulder there, and it kind of separates you from the background. Glow. Yeah. So you have a key light, a backlight, and then you have like, you know, practical lights, like maybe lamps and things like that, that'll help just make your image. And what you want, what the lighting does is it shapes the highlights and the shadows, right? So any good movie or anything that you watch has a contrast in between like the highlights and the shadows.
Well, you don't want to just blend into the background. You want to have definite layers to your image.
Exactly. Without contrast, it just looks really flat, and maybe you could say more on the amateur side instead of
for sure.
The contrast will just help you look a little bit more professional. And so if you don't have, you know, lights, or maybe you don't have a budget for the lights that you have, a lot of times you can just use like really good natural lighting coming in from your windows. We have some good natural light coming in right now.
Great sun today.
Great sun, yeah. So you might, one of the tips is that you could actually, you know, stand up a little bit closer to, you know, to the window where you have some natural light coming in over the face.
Yeah.
And it's a great start that you can just start with. That's where you're at. But
never film somebody with the sun behind them.
Yes.
That
is true.
Really good for capturing shadows on faces.
Unless you want
not great for
a silhouette look.
Yeah, if that's what you're going for. Yeah. If you're going for that, absolutely. But
yeah, so maybe on business videos and you're talking like
possibly not.
Yeah, informational videos, you're not going to want that, right?
Not going to want to do it that way.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Yeah, you want to face the direction of the light coming in. So that should sound like a no-brainer, but
it should be very common sense, but it's.
But I mean, I don't know if I knew that before I really got into video, and like I'd probably make that mistake, or I don't know.
You pick these things up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just some stuff you're not aware of, like when you're first starting out, and it seems really simple.
And then somebody helps you out and gives you a little bit of like, hey, by the way. And if anybody's ever helped you with one of those things, why don't you write it down in the comments, and we can see about what you've learned and what we've learned, and maybe we don't know something you do, and that would be super cool if you could teach us. We're always there to learn.
And then as you start perfecting a little bit, you get an eye for it. You can start moving lights around that create different emotions. You know, when you watch a movie, there's the lighting is what creates certain emotions, right? So if you see any pictures of like Batman, he's got like the shadow completely on this side and the light on this side.
Yeah.
And it gives that like really dark feel, contrast. And
it also indicates character.
Yeah.
Right?
What a lot of YouTubers, a lot of professionals for interview style videos do, they like to use what's called like a Rembrandt light that kind of wraps around your face and like creates a little triangle here on the cheek and a little bit of shadow here. And it's just a very elegant type of look, and it creates contrast, a little depth.
I didn't know that's what that was called.
Yeah, it's really
Rembrandt
big. It's
light?
really common, Rembrandt.
Okay,
well, from an old painter. His last name was Rembrandt or something.
Yeah, he's got one or two hanging up on walls somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure.
So like a lot of his pictures had that lighting look on their face, and so they call it the Rembrandt light.
Well, I just didn't know that was that. That's here we are learning things.
I really like the backlighting. It really helps separate you from the background.
Yeah.
So that way you're not like, without it, the background kind of like looks like it's almost like right up on you, and that backlight, hair light, kind of gives a little glow on the back of your hair, separates you from the background, looks pretty.
And speaking of backgrounds and looking separated from them, I really like when it's blurry background.
Yes.
I like that depth of field. And I think you've got that set up on the cameras today, so that we've got that nice soft background behind us, but we're super sharp, even though sometimes we're not super sharp, but we're crystal clear. Anyway.
I love where you're heading with this.
We don't need to keep picking on each other, but it's fun.
That was my next thing, was creating depth of field. So a lot of times when people first starting out video, they'll like stand up right next to a wall, and like they're like the wall is like a foot behind them, and it just creates this a little bit more of a, again, amateur, not to like beat anybody up or anything like that, but it just doesn't look as appealing, not aesthetically pleasing on the video. So one of the tricks that you can do is create a lot more depth. If you have room in the room that you're at, you can see on Emil's shot here, we have like a ton of background behind there, and it creates, like you said,
it's not even
a little
close.
Blurriness back there. It's softer.
Yeah.
Separate, you know, it just makes you look a lot more professional. It just creates a more aesthetically pleasing look.
Well, and I need the help, all the help I can get in that area.
Don't we all, man?
That's true.
We're not all built like Thor, right?
Well, some of us are. Then the rest of us get to sit across the chair from
him. Well, it's probably more the hair. Everyone says I look like Thor or Jesus, or just because I got the long hair. Jason Momoa, yeah.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
My son said if I cut my hair, he's like, Dad, don't do that. You'll just be like a normal dude. Like
everybody's got to have a unique trait, right?
I guess I don't want to be normal, so
don't be. How can you stand out from the crowd if you're normal?
That's a good point. So yeah, creating depth of field. I mean, that's just depth. It's just saying create some depth, some space behind you.
Yeah.
The more depth that you can create, the better.
Well, and I like that it's a nice little trick, because in reality, when you look at a photograph or a video, you're looking at a two-dimensional flat representation of the 3D world around us, right? And if you can make it feel more like, oh, looking at the real world around you, because when you look at someone in a setting like this, you're nice and crisp and framed, and everything behind you is sort of out of focus. Like I can still focus on it if I look at it, but it's still sort of softer.
So I got a guy over there saying to move my mic.
It's okay. It's just catching a table from falling, ruining our great audio.
Okay.
You're welcome, man.
Sorry, I just ruined all that.
No, it's totally fine.
No, I think you said that a lot more eloquently than I did as well. So
no, we all say the same things.
So those are the big three. Obviously, there's more that you can expand on and stuff like that when it comes to, but I think if you start with the storytelling, like we talked about last video, and then you start to enhance your video quality like this.
Yeah.
These are all just things that are going to help people stay more engaged to your videos. And the more engagement is going to create more customer, more
conversion.
There
you are.
I like that word.
It's a great word.
So do you have anything else to add to this topic?
No, I mean, this is really like your milieu, if you will. You're the man on point for this one.
Yeah. I wanted to just, really give some good basic pointers that I think will really enhance people's videos. Yeah. And then, if you're out there and you're like, man, I really want to take it to the next level, man, we can totally help you guys do that.
Absolutely.
We can help you from start to finish, all the way through the process of helping you create your story and your messaging, and then really providing top-notch video production quality.
Right. And it's not just video podcasting. Yeah. It's not just live streaming. It's sporting events. Yep. It's business events. Yep. It's life events. It's whatever you want it to be. We can come capture it.
And then we can take it from, the production part to then like strategies to get it in front of more people.
Yep.
From the marketing standpoint. And, that's kind of like the steps in the process, I think, is you creating videos and wanting to like get in front of more people and things like that. So yeah, I think that was like all I had to communicate as far as the tips and tricks.
I think it's great. I don't think they all have to be 20, 40 minutes. Yeah. Some of them can be 5 or 10.
Well, I think that's a good point is I would add to making better videos is, keeping it straight to the point, be sharp, be bright, be brief, and be gone. Like that was a concept that I learned from.
Yep.
I think it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. Is like
I think that is the book. Yeah.
Stay on point and not try to get too far off in the weeds, and
long enough to cover the subject, short enough to keep it interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Love it, man.
There we go.
Well, cool. With that said, hopefully this video helps you with some of the tips and the tricks that will help your videos become better. And until next video,
smash the like button until you're there.
Subscribe, share, do all the things. Kick the door down.
There it is. There he goes.
And with that said, we love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.
Out.